Good morning. Today we are installing this billet radius arm by Charlie Moua, and it replaces the radius arm that on the innovative traction bar. Now, as you can see, mine is highly modified, and the reason is because this big wheel from Fluidampr hits. Right now it looks like there's plenty of space because it's in the air. But now with this modification I did where I cut here and then welded here, this is totally great for driving around town. I stand by this work I did to the original. But I do plan to change out the suspension and actually track this, so I want even more clearance. So I went ahead and got this, which I will compare. I'm going to take them out and show you the difference. This is my first time using this quick jack, which is pretty awesome, but a little still nervous to go underneath it for now. But this job does not require me to go underneath it. But man, this quick jack goes high. I have a lot of clearance, so I'm really happy with this. And the 5000 model fits perfectly under the CRX, which I was kind of worried about. On the top here we have the original innovative bar that I grinded down and welded reinforcement on the bottom, which I think for my amateur fabrication was actually pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, say what you will, but I thought it was cool. And for daily driving around town, this was totally fine. I drove 20 miles on this the other day. No issues. However, I do want to track this. I'm going to change the suspension out, blah, blah, blah. I want more. I want as much space as I can get. So here's Charlie's bar, which will give me another inch of clearance from the pulley. Also, there's way more lateral room should I need it, which I wouldn't with the suspension, but you never know. You reuse the Heim joint, and so if you didn't have the modified traction bar, then doing this would give you about 1.5 inches of clearance over a straight bar. So now I'll swap this Heim joint over and install it. This is swapped over. I did measure this so that when I adjusted this in, it was the same length. Not overall, but measuring to the center of this bolt hole. So now let's put it in. Now the thicker bar here is hitting my turbo oil return, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Now Charlie doesn't include the Heim joint spherical bearing, but he is kind enough to include some bolts. And you can find him on Instagram right there. The bolts are significantly longer than the ones I had. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I've decided it's not a good thing, because it kind of hits the... Oh, there we go. I just had to finagle it around so it wouldn't get caught on the axle. Most importantly, the bolt holes do seem to be lining up. Maybe. I will final torque these when I have this on the ground. And I did, while I was here, replace this oil return fitting so that there's no interaction here. As you can see, now of course this gap will shrink a little bit once there's weight on the suspension, but it didn't hit before, and now I've got an extra inch, so it looks great. Okay, and now that we are on the ground with the suspension under load, you can see how this looks. It's higher than the oil pan, of course, and it leaves plenty of room around the fluid damper, which is like 7.5 inches in diameter. So there you go. That is another way to solve that problem.